Commercials are the one thing that almost every American sees every day. They are the one thing that almost every American also hates. They are also one of the many ways Americans are controlled by our media. They plant ideas in our minds 30 seconds at a time. They show us not necessarily what we need, but what we should want. They don't brainwash our decisions. They don't brainwash our decisions and turn us into robots, but they plant more information in that 30 seconds than one might think. In fact, many people don't even know they're thinking about it. All it takes is one 23 millisecond flash for our subconscious mind to pick up a message that could change our decision making. Subliminal messaging in all forms of advertising is the latest craze in the world of media. Professor Wilson Key from the University of Western Ontario discovered that after much research, subliminal messages were used in almost all types of advertisement. Subliminal messages are not designed to control you, but to persuade you or influence you to base your own decisions around what they want. Subliminal messages are a sign or a message designed to pass below the normal limits of perception. It is transmitted briefly, unperceived consciously, and yet perceived unconsciously. Many times these advertising schemes are related to negative messages, but in all actuality they're created for the purpose of positive advertising as well. In the late 1960s, subliminal messages were tested in 8 areas of human behavior: dreams, memory, values, conscious perception, verbal behaviors, emotions, drives, and perceptual defenses. In all of these areas, subliminal messaging failed to be more powerful than any of these natural drives, thus proving that at that time, researchers and the public believed that all this talk was just a hoax. Later in the 70s, stories began coming out that subliminal messages were an aid to a huge reduction in shoplifting incidents. The story hit the media, and then the obsession with subliminal messages broke out again. Once people convince themselves that something works, they look for ways to confirm that they are correct. This idea is what makes subliminal work so effectively. If you believed you were being brainwashed, then there would be no doubt that you would back up any allegations that subliminal messaging is what made you do any certain actions, regardless of whether these hidden messages actually worked. Planting the idea in our minds that it is out there and that people are trying to influence you is one thing, but the real feat in subliminal advertising is getting you to think about what you are seeing or hearing. Below conscious level of our mind lies our innermost desires, wants, and wishes. Many of our dreams are formed by the information stored in the subconscious level, and many of our actions are affected by it. When our mind is processing hundreds of flashes of information a day, we often let things slide past our awareness into this subliminal cabinet. When this part of our brain detects this information, it is stored in there until we realize we are going to act upon it. Take, for example, a positive subliminal message. You just saw a commercial for a day spa, and the frames you are processing are showing very calm, relaxing images, and good thoughts are in your mind. Then the commercial flashes to the phrase, "no worries." Your subconscious mind picked this message up without you even knowing it. Later in the day, things might get hectic and your stress level rises, but for some reason you aren't too worked up over things. You are calm and collected and ready to keep moving on. Then you hit that moment where you say, "I don't know why, but I'm just in the best mood today." Or, "How many times a day," or, "For some reason These reasons and actions could be directly correlated with subliminal messages you have picked up throughout an average day. This example is one of the many reasons why there's a $50 million market each year in subliminal self-help audio tapes and videos. People want to believe they can change and believe that there is also a reason behind it. Subliminal messages are one way of doing that. Advertisers aren't the only people to catch on to this new millennium trend. State governments have considered slipping messages into federal things like road signs. Many signs around construction zones or intersections are becoming more and more electronic. They are basic black signs that can scroll a message across onto the oncoming traffic or soon approaching areas. What if subliminal messages were flashed upon those drivers so drivers could be persuaded to obey the law? Professor Neely Cavey from the University College of London believes that negative words have more of a rapid impact. Thus, signs that flash "kill your speed" could be more noticeable than "slow down." Many researchers and scientists believe that subliminal advertising is a type of edge Companies feel they can get with the public about their product. Slipping in advertisements in TV shows or movies is just one way to put a brand name out there. That being said, there are also subconscious ways to put things out there as well. Subliminal advertising has been caught numerous times on TV. An example of this type of edge companies are looking for came in the 2000 campaign of George W. Bush and Al Gore. A commercial, approved by Bush, ran during the election that flashed the word rats in a single frame towards the end of the commercial. Here is the frame of the particular commercial that says rats, flashed for minuscule of a second. The commercial has been viewed over and over again and was believed to be planted in there on purpose. Obviously, the Republican Party did not want viewers to subconsciously think this of the opposing party, but this proves that it was a productive form of subliminal advertising. Aside from the political side of things, there comes the popular phrase, sex sells. The use of sex is subliminally included in all types of media every day, whether we realize it or not. The thing about the subconscious mind is that it ironically has a mind of its own. It is separate from our decision-making mind and holds some of our most secret and private desires. So if we subconsciously hold onto these subliminal messages, do they eventually become our wants and desires? Do these hidden tricks suddenly become everyone's needs? Money and sex seem to be the root of all evil nowadays. They've also become the root of most TV shows, advertisements, magazines, and movies as well. Axe, Disney, and McDonald's are all examples of companies pushing sex and money into our lives. Here are more examples. This is a McDonald's ad, which shows a hamburger with a money sign secretly placed in the lettuce. This is a Coke. This is the Axe commercial, which spells out the letters S-E-X without us even noticing it. And this is an example of Disney. The Lion King, the sand flying in the air, and here's an up-close of it spelling out S-E-X in the dust particles. Whether you notice these things or not until now, that is beside the point. These ads and frames may be old and outdated, but the subliminal messages and advertisements could be affecting you to this very day. How subliminal messages function in our minds is a highly complex subject. There has not been any agreement on how exactly they work, or if they actually have the power to influence our behavior. Scientists and professors tend to agree that if you want to believe in something, then it will have the power to affect you. So next time you are bored watching TV or skimming through your magazine, try to read between the lines and see where it takes you, and what decisions you end up making. What will you want next, subconsciously? Audience.